All right. Let's get to our Disruptor series. Andy Beyer's with us, running for school board in Fairfax. Andy, you're in Fairfax running for school board?
Yes, John, I am.
Well, now, Andy, no Republican can win there. Are you a Republican? Because they're telling me it's like 80% Dem now.
They like us to think that. When I go out door knocking, I'm not finding that. I would say it's about 40-60. There are a lot of independents, and I think that we need to stop listening to the reports that it's not Republican. And I show people the app as I'm door knocking, and I say, look, these are all your neighbors who are conservative, and they're shocked. So, no, I think that's a farce that they want us to believe. There's more of us out there, and we need to understand that and then act on that.
Andy, there's no truth to the rumor that I roll my windows up and turn the lights dim when I drive through Fairfax. Not true. That's fake news, Andy. Fake. I know people have been saying that. It is fake news. I go and do my show at Chap Peterson's office, right in the heart of Fairfax City, and Ben Tribbett's office. And I got to deal with all the Redskin stuff when I do that, and they put me to sleep on it. But look, I do actually go to Fairfax. I don't roll my windows up. Now, let me ask you this, Andy. You're on the Disruptor series of the John Fredericks Show. You're running for school board. What's the big issue there? What's driving people?
The big issue is lack of information. Taxpayers are expected to fund 53%. 53% of our tax dollars, personal property and real estate tax, go directly to funding our school board. Budget is $3 billion this year. Over the next 4 years, this board's going to spend at least $12 billion, likely much more. You've got a bond referendum this year. We used to be capped at $150 million for bonds. That was put up to $180 million to still retain our AAA rating. But this year you're going to see a bond referendum for $360 million, and that's for renovations. We're 50 years behind in school renovations, massive overcrowding, 800 trailers that have been there for 20 years. 10% of our population is educated in trailers, and we're arguing over race and socioeconomics.
So
we now
basically
live under the One Fairfax policy paradigm, and if anybody's read One Fairfax, it is intentionally ambiguous and gives complete authoritarian control to both the Board of Supervisors and the school board.
So what does One Fairfax want to do? I mean, you're running, you want to spend the money on schools. They have to get renovated. You got to get rid of the trailers. The city and the county is growing. So you need the money. As I tell all the, my Tea Party listeners that fight transportation taxes, you can't build roads from finding pennies under the seat cushion in the governor's office. You have to fund this stuff. So it sounds like you want to fund it, right? You want to fund it. So what is One Fairfax? Some kind of a hidden nefarious agenda?
Is new Board of Supervisor community centers, and our Board of Supervisors sit in these plush offices. We've got a government center that looks like the Taj Mahal and is kindly called the Taj Mahal. And you've got a lovely, monstrous school board administrative building. And so I dare say that if we were to have our school board administration going to work every day in trailers, things would be done differently. Right now, we are, as I see it, wasting money on pet projects of the special interest group.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about what's going on in Fairfax with the bathroom situation?
Well, they would love nothing more than to adopt what has happened in Arlington schools recently, so that would allow biological boys to use the bathrooms, the locker rooms, and then, of course, sports teams of biological girls. And so there was an amicus brief recently written, paid for by our tax dollars, that was written in conjunction with Fairfax City Schools, Arlington, and Alexandria counties. And that amicus brief was written in support of the Gavin Grimm case, which was a case involving a transgender student that began back in 2015. So they want nothing more than this board. When I say they, I would say 10 of the 12 members of this current board would want nothing more than to have that now be applied to our school. And indeed, the opponent running against me would want nothing more.
So basically, the way the school board, the way Arlington works is that where a male student can say one day, I'm no longer male, I feel like a female today, and they can go in the female bathroom or the female locker room, or vice versa? Is that what Arlington has?
And this is nothing new. The county has effectively been dealing with issues such as this for over a decade or longer, and there's been no problem. What has been the problem is, again, our board marches to the mantra of the special interest groups, and the special interest groups march to fads. And the fad of the day is gender, and that is what we're seeing: equity, diversity, social justice. We're seeing all of these fads being played out with taxpayer dollars, and what's going down is academics. When you've got the number one county, and I grew up here. I grew up in Providence. I attended Providence District Schools. I graduated from Falls Church High School. I've raised my family here. All of my kids have attended these schools. My youngest is a junior at Oakton High School. I'm a former teacher. I'm a tutor. I tutor these kids. And what I see is that kids are struggling. Parents are upset. They don't know what their kids are learning. Kids don't have textbooks. Kids don't even utilize online textbooks, and we pay for both. We pay for hard copy and online, and our kids aren't even using them. And kids are struggling. Parents don't know how to help their kids in grades K through 8, and I find that unbearable to not have a parent capable of knowing what their kids are learning or able to help them. And so this is the reason we're seeing our minority student achievement gap continue. We've thrown $300 million at closing our minority student achievement gap, and it hasn't closed. And this is what they say driving the One Fairfax policy.
All right, Andy Beyer, not in favor of the One Fairfax policy, fighting the gender justice social warriors in the Fairfax school system, wants to keep bathrooms.
Yes, and wanting to keep academics. There's a $3 billion budget. It's a zero-sum amount, and either we define what the mission of the schools is, and I believe that is academics, and we put academics first, but we also have to put our parents and taxpayers first. And the parents and taxpayers are being shut out of the system, and the special interest groups are calling all the shots.
Andy, we want to thank you for your time. Hey, people want more info on Andy Beyer's social justice battle with the gender bathroom crazies. I mean, it's just, I can't even have this conversation. Let's get up one day in the 7th grade and say, I think today I feel like a girl. I'll go to the girls' room. I think today I feel like a woman. I'll go to the female locker room, take a shower with the 8th grade girls. I mean, come on, people. I mean, just come on. This is like so stupid.
We do need to have compassion for students who are struggling with gender issues. But I think a lot of parents, a lot of teachers, I talk to a lot of teachers, and especially in the elementary grades and middle grades, and they say, we're driving this.
It just
we're
doesn't make
the
it doesn't make any sense.
And they're not okay with that.
It cuts the other way too. I mean, if I've got a daughter in the 8th grade that one day gets up and says, "Well, I think I'm a boy today," I mean, let's deal with that as one deals with it. But to say, I'm going to go shower with the boys, I mean, stop. Okay, this is nonsense.
Exactly.
And everybody knows it's nonsense. And everybody is scared to death to call it out. And there's not a bigger gay rights activist in the Republican circles of America than me. I mean, I'm pro-gay marriage. I'm pro the gay rights agenda for the most part. I'm pro LGBTQ rights. I've been for 40 years. But when you're in the 8th grade and you're switching bathrooms, I mean, just knock it off. Okay. At some point, you just have to stop this nonsense. And it is nonsense. Correct. And you know it is. Everybody knows Correct. It's nonsense. It's Correct. Stop it. Right? Doesn't matter. Look, if they grow up and decide to be a transgender, that's fine at 18. You want to do it in college, you're an adult. But, you're 14, 13, 12 years old. Knock it off, okay? Go to whatever bathroom your gender is. It says it on the door. Figure it out in a different way, right? Get over it in a different...
It's all an attempt to turn society upside down. And again, we know who's driving this. And there's a lot of money to be made off of our schools.
Sure there is.
And we need to be the adults. We need to be pro-science. We need to understand reality, call it what it is, you're right, and not be afraid to say things. And a lot of time I feel like we're all playing the emperor's new clothes.
Nobody wants their daughter who's 14 years old in the 8th grade exposed to a male in the bathroom. Okay, they just don't want it. Stop. Okay, I get that there's that individual person is struggling and is a transgender. I get all that. I want to be sympathetic. I don't devalue the choice, but when you're going into the girls' bathroom and you have a male organ and you're 14, come on, knock it off. John Fredericks Radio Network. I got to go.
Schools to be feeding this.
Andy,
that's the problem.
Andy, I got to roll. Thank you.
Okay.
John Fredericks Radio Network. I'm telling you, the crazies are at the gate. I'll be right back.